everybody, welcome to Jenny Live. This is a special Jenny Live, I gotta tell you, because it is Thursday. We never do a live show on Thursdays, and we are in the Miami TV cruise right now with a very, very special guest. A lot of you have always been wondering if, you know, we speak a lot about energy, about spiritualism, about life after death, maybe. But Admir Serrano, he's an author of 5 books already and is the expert of experts in these topics. So for all of you that have always had questions, this is the time to ask them. If you guys have Twitter or in MiamiTVLife.com, there's a chat there. You can go ahead and type the questions in the chat, and we'll be live for who knows how long, depending how the conversation goes. That's the beauty about being live in Miami TV, that we don't have times pretty much. So join us, and I hope you enjoy the show. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Bienvenidos a todos. Estamos en vivo y en directo aquí en Miami, en el calor de Miami, tengo que decir, porque estamos encima del crucero de Miami TV. Como pueden ver detrás mío, las bellas aguas de Miami, calorcito. Dicen que estamos en invierno, pero no está en invierno, ¿eh? Ya volvió el calor nuevamente, así que podemos estar vestidos de verano. Bueno, para muchos de ustedes siempre han estado curiosos en el hecho de la vida después de la muerte, las energías, el espiritualismo, y han tenido un montón de preguntas sobre esto, pero yo por supuesto que se las voy a responder como opiniones, y siempre les he dicho, vamos a tener un experto de esto, que lo tenemos aquí con nosotros, una persona muy especial, Admir Serrano, que no solamente ha escrito 5 libros, sino también se dedica a esto, a dar lecturas a todas las personas aquí en la Florida y por todo el mundo. Así que bienvenidos a Jenny Live, y no se olviden de que estamos en vivo. Pueden preguntar sus preguntas en MiamiTVLive.com en la parte de vivo. ¿Cómo estás?
Excelente.
Bueno, ¿qué tal? A ver, escritor, lecturer. It's going to be Spanglish, by the way. Vamos a estar en Spanglish hoy.
Well, that's something that I use my time for, you know, researching and studying, and ended up wanting to share what I learned. So, and then I put in books, and also I share in lectures and so forth, and also answering questions through my website and all that.
Bueno, la gente hoy en día, people nowadays are being more intrigued about this subject. La gente hoy en día quiere saber cada vez más y más. ¿De dónde eres?
Yo soy de Brasil.
¿De qué parte de Brasil?
De São Paulo, pero vivo en Estados Unidos hace mucho tiempo.
Ya estás americanizado.
Sí, creo que sí.
Bueno, mándale un saludo a la gente de São Paulo.
Sim. Boa tarde a todos vocês, é um prazer estar aqui e vamos então fazer a nossa parte, compartilhando com vocês os meus estudos, as minhas experiências paranormais, para que nós possamos então entender um pouquinho quem realmente nós somos, por que estamos aqui na Terra, onde vamos depois.
Okay. Why are we here? I wonder why we're here. That's something that everybody wonders at one point in their life. Why are we here? What are we doing in Earth, you know? All right, so why did you start studying this? ¿Por qué empezaste a estudiar todo esto?
Es muy interesante. No creo que mucha gente haga lo que yo hice.
Okay.
Yo empecé estudiando eso para prepararme para mi propia muerte física.
O sea, ¿tú querías morir?
No.
No. O sea, muerte
yo
física.
quería saber cómo era.
Okay. ¿Y cómo volvías?
Antes del hecho.
Okay.
Antes de que ocurriera.
¿Tenías miedo a morir antes?
No, es que yo quería entender cómo era el proceso. Muchos escuchaba hablar, qué es que pasa con la persona cuando se está por morir. Entonces yo empecé a estudiar para estar en paz.
Okay. Es lo importante, ¿no? Claro. Estar en paz antes de irse de aquí.
Sí. Y eso fue después de leer el filósofo Platón.
Okay.
Que what language are we gonna talk?
Lo que quieras, yo traduzco después, no te preocupes.
So
I'll translate, you guys, don't worry.
So I was reading Plato.
Okay.
And Phaedo it's a story of Socrates when he's condemned to death, and then he's waiting execution. And he's already, you know, an old man. He's one of the wisest men in the world at that time, you know, for 500 BC and so forth. And he was in jail, and he was going to drink hemlock. It's a poison, because that was the penalty that they gave him. And all his friends, they're talking to him and trying, Socrates, we can get you out of here, and then you go continue living and being the great person that you are, a great philosopher. So why don't you go? He said, no, because I'm Athenian, and they had all the states were independent, and they had their own laws, their own autonomy and things like that. So,
o sea, que los atenos tenían que tomar veneno anteriormente si hacían algo mal para morirse.
Los que eran condenados a la muerte, sí. Sí, diferente de aquí tiene la litho injection. Es la misma cosa, pero aplicada.
Siempre hubo algo, ¿no?
Sí, por medio, pero por ruta diferente. Una ahora por la vena, antes era por la boca. Toma en un.
So before you used to drink it, nowadays you have the lethal injection, you know?
Yeah.
There's always been something for death, jeez.
That's right, yeah. See, the only progress that we made in that sense was the way the venom or the poison is injected. So basically.
Well, it's probably faster now that it's injected, right?
Well, not the last guy that they didn't mix it correctly, so the guy suffered a lot, and there's a lot of controversy. But anyways, back to Socrates.
Yeah, we're not talking about those dead people today.
No, let's go back in time, 500 BC. So Socrates was very at peace, and his friends were saying, we'll go and we'll save your life. But why? Because you're going to die. He said, no, I'm not going to die. My body's going to die, not me. Because I'm not the body. I'm the guy who's talking to you, is listening to you. This is Socrates. This is me, my spirit. The body is just an instrument I'm using. When it dies, then I'll continue. And then he was very peaceful. I thought, I would admire that peacefulness. And then one of them, they asked him, Socrates, how do you want us to dispose of you after you die? Right. And he said, any way you want, if you can catch me. Because
it's not him anymore, right?
It's not him. He said, when the body dies, I'm going to be out of here. I'm not going to even look, look back. So I thought it was beautiful. So how do I train myself to be in this state of peacefulness when my time comes? And that's how it started.
Yo creo que mucha gente le tiene miedo, ¿no? al fallecer. En este caso, él leyó un libro de Aristóteles cuando estaba por morir y que él estaba muy en paz y le dijeron, bueno, ¿por qué estás tan en paz y vas a morir? ¿Qué quieres que hagamos con tu cuerpo después? Y dice, no importa porque no me van a poder alcanzar. En el caso de que él ya entendía de que uno no muere en realidad, uno sigue de largo. Ahora, ¿no has intentado nada, no? Como para irte del cuerpo o sí? Bueno, serían experiencias fuera del cuerpo, no fallecer. Like you haven't had an almost death experience, have you? No.
No, I have been very close to death, but I was very young. I don't remember, but according to the doctors, they even had told my parents to prepare my funeral. Oh. But I'm so stubborn that I didn't want to. I had more things. I had to be here.
Right, so be here.
Yeah, so I had to be here today. I couldn't die at that time. Right. That does make sense. I have an interview at Miami TV.
Right? Very important.
And I made it all the way through here.
So, do you think that, do you remember when this happened or no?
No. Okay. I don't remember that. But I was never scared of death. But I just wanted that time be that peacefulness. The experience that I have consciously, we all have this experience, is that we will call out-of-body experiences. It's the experience that we have of leaving a physical body, and that happens to us mostly every night. Near-death experience is a way, it is an out-of-body experience, but the cause is different from when we are healthy. Death is an out-of-body experience too, but it's one that we go and we don't come back. Yeah.
You cut that line, you're gone.
You got the silver cord.
Yeah, there you go.
We got the silver cord. And then we keep going, living our natural life, because we are spirits. And we are living a physical life, so we have this physical instrument that we use to manifest here on earth, and that's why we're here to learn and stuff. But our essence, what we are, is a spirit, energy, great, amount of energy. We're majestic beings. So, but we're just living in a different. It's a different mode of living here physically. But when the body, when we finish our work here and the body dies, we continue living our natural life that we've been living for millennia.
Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that you've talked to that have had, almost near-death experiences. There's stories about maybe you even communicating or connecting with loved ones. Like, they even show it in movies, And I always say what you see in a movie has its research. There's a reason why it's there, and they're showing you it. Have you had any stories like that? And I'm sure you believe in this, too?
Yeah, of course. As part of my preparation for my own death.
Yeah. His death is going to be the happiest death of all. I already see it.
I want to be Miami Live to be there.
I'm going to get one of those infrared cameras and see if we can catch your spirit and you wave back at us.
Yeah. So part of that training, I volunteered in hospice.
Okay.
And hospice is like a medical organization like most like a medical philosophy, that people who are diagnosed with a terminal disease, so they can't, can't be fixed anymore. The body is going to shut down. They're going to leave the physical body, so they're going to die. So I spend time with them, and a lot of time, about 2 years, working as a volunteer. And so first was to understand what they go, the emotions and so forth. But
It must have been tough.
well, it's a beautiful learning experience. You see a lot of suffering and stuff, but
You're seeing people die, and I'm like,
but they're not dying. See, that's the thing.
unless you help them through it.
Yeah, and most at the end they're not afraid. Some are afraid. So that's a part of a natural part of life. But when you understand that it's only the body that dies, not us, then everything becomes easier. Now, the experience that you're talking about with the loved ones present who died, they're called deathbed visions, that we call.
Okay.
Yeah, and what's amazing, what's beautiful, because we are a huge spiritual family, right?
Yeah.
And we are here, with now with the loved ones that we've known for many centuries in other lives, and we love them. So we built this tie of love with them. Now our parents and grandparents, they're also part of this great spiritual family that we have. And when they pass away, they don't cease loving us. They don't stop loving us or caring. They continue, and they continue also working, helping us. So when people are about to die, many of those, the loved ones that are very close, they come back and to guide us. It's like when we were born in physical life, right? You go to the hospital, our mothers is about to give birth, and we are surrounded by doctors who are specialized in that trade, and also loved ones, the parents, just one of the parents, right? The other one is there already, the mother anyway. And, it can be some loved one or whatever. So we're there to welcome that being, that spirit who is coming back to earth. So the death is a birth in reverse. It's leaving the physical life and being born to the spiritual life. People were also sad when we left the spiritual life to be born here. Our loved ones that we had. Yeah.
But we don't remember, right?
We don't remember that. Some
people
children
do.
Remember, yeah, they're children. Maybe we remembered when we were little, but now we forgot. Thank God. And
I know, right? Imagine living your life that way.
yeah, no, because there's a lot of things that we shouldn't remember, anyways. So, and then when we return to physical, to the spirit life, we make people here sad, but we make the other ones happy, who are coming us back. But when we pass away, we're not here anymore. And then we see our loved ones. We see them. We can try to communicate, as many spirits do. But as here, we don't sense that person most of the time. Some people do. But so people here, still in physical life, the one that we leave behind, they're sad because they can't see us.
Right.
So they think that we disappeared for...
They're attached to our matter, right?
Yeah, but they don't see. The only thing that happens when someone we love dies or leaves physical life is that they're not in our presence. We can't see their physical body, but they're still around and love.
You can actually even communicate with them.
Definitely. Most common in dreams, what we call dreams, right, at night. Especially, and there are many, it's very, very common, the dreams that the person says, I dreamed that I saw my son and I embraced, and they can tell, the emotions. He was so beautiful. I could even feel his warmth, his perfume and all that. So that is an out-of-body experience. And spirits use a lot of that.
Before you continue. Bueno, estábamos hablando un poquito de que él dice de que cuando nosotros nacemos aquí en el cuerpo físico, tenemos a todos los doctores, a toda nuestra familia esperándonos, ¿no? Por supuesto, y halagándonos a que estamos viniendo a este mundo. Pero dice que cuando uno fallece es lo mismo. En realidad, nosotros estamos dejando el mundo espiritual y viniendo a esta tierra. Por lo tanto, tenemos a muchos parientes, quizás que ya se han ido también, que cuando fallecemos nos están esperando así tal cual. Él explica de que es como un nacimiento, pero en la vida espiritual sería, ¿no? En un mundo espiritual. Entonces que no hay que estar triste, de que nunca vamos a estar solos, de que siempre tenemos familia del otro lado, ¿me entienden? ¿No? Y que también siempre están con nosotros, que se pueden comunicar a través de sueños. Muchas personas sueñan de que en el sueño de ayer justamente vi a mi hijo y lo abrazaba, y dice de que hasta sienten esto, y es justamente porque es la manera más, podríamos decirle, más fácil para ellos poder comunicarse, porque uno cuando está dormido, ¿no? Está, claro, puede tener experiencias de fuera del cuerpo y también está, como a mí me gusta decir, un poco más vulnerable, por lo tanto, no estás tan con la mente en qué tienes que hacer mañana, en el trabajo, en los problemas y todo eso, ¿no?
Exacto, así es, así es.
Como una meditación sin meditar casi.
Sí. Pero existe esta salida o despegue.
Despegue, sí.
Despegue de nuestra energía espiritual o de nuestra conciencia. Entonces, el cuerpo está ahí reposando, está dormido. Los órganos físicos están ahí acostados, no hace nada. Nosotros como espíritus tenemos una facilidad mayor de salir del cuerpo. Entonces, como estamos ahí en nuestro cuerpo espiritual y tenemos un ser querido que ya no está en cuerpo físico más, pero que está en su cuerpo también espiritual, estamos en la misma sintonía de vibración, por eso es que lo vemos. Y nosotros lo tocamos, lo abrazamos tal cual, sólido, tan sólido como aquí en cuerpo físico, porque es la misma vibración de materia como está aquí, por eso la solidez.
¿Y a eso le llamaríamos la dimensión o la frecuencia? ¿Sería una dimensión?
¿Qué llamamos dimensión? Por ejemplo, son, vamos a decir, partes diferentes de un...
de nivel de energía, ¿no?
Sí, de nivel de energía, sí. Porque todo está vibrando en diferentes sincronías. Por ejemplo, como la luz otra roja que está aquí, otro sonido que está aquí. Todo en el mismo. Aquí imagen que tenemos de imagen. Aquí, todo funcionando junto. Pero no se mezclan porque cada uno está vibrando en un padrón diferente. Entonces así con los cuerpos físicos. Y cuando estamos en el cuerpo perispiritual también tiene su solidez funcionando dentro de esta dimensión que está sincronizada con la frecuencia del cuerpo espiritual que estamos ahí manifestando nuestra conciencia en ese momento.
That's interesting. He's saying that, you know how we have different frequencies, of course, like the radio or TV, you know, or those sounds that only dogs hear, for example, and different frequencies and sounds. In the spirit, he's saying it's the same thing, you know, you have different spirits in different dimensions, or I guess you would call it frequencies or energy, you know, vibrations, and that they all exist, you know, in that one level, because I guess everybody has, you know, even us in the physical world, everybody has I guess a job to fill, right? And we don't interact with each other. Now, recently there's been a lot more interactivity, I guess we could say, with the spirit world and humans than maybe we could all hope for, because how many TV you know, shows have come out about people speaking to the death and making it a TV show, or going out to a haunted place and talking to spirits. Do you think that's bad?
I think that's great.
Okay.
Because this is one thing, what's happening is that we are having a better understanding of what we truly are.
Okay.
So it's us. When we say the spirits, we are spirits. We are. I say spirits because that's the term I feel comfortable with it. But we have a lot of people, like scientists especially, and those who are too academic to use the term spirit. They say consciousness.
Right.
So what they mean by consciousness is the same thing that I mean by spirit, is a non-physical essence that we are, not that we have, that we are, that can function independently from the physical body. So this interest that you see having in here in the United States is amazing. How many universities, Duke universities, we have Stanford University, we have University of Arizona, University of Virginia has done a tremendous job in studying reincarnation, children who remember have spontaneous,
I was just gonna go there.
for 50 years already. So what's happening is that it is this great, it's our evolution. And you see a lot of kids now, 3, 4, 5 years old, with those great talents, musical talents, scientific talents, all that. What is that? That's, you know, how can a 3-year-old boy that you see there, you know, playing sonatas or playing or whatever.
They know that without so much practice. Yeah.
In 3 years, here, you know, that's or even scientifically. So what is happening? what's happening is that this is a knowledge that is already, that's been acquired for many lives, that they have these special kids, they tap into much early because of the work that they're here to do. So they tap it and they manifest it for us to see. So there's this greater awareness of who we truly are, that we are immortal spirits and that we are majestic, like I said before.
Así que hemos hablado de esto antes y me parece súper interesante el hecho de que aquí en Estados Unidos pues hay muchos programas de televisión hoy en día que le están dando más importancia al tema de la energía y personas que hablan con las personas que han fallecido, o sea, las energías, ¿no? Y en particular los niños de que a una edad muy temprana por ahí tienen un talento y dicen, pero hace creo que un mes vimos una historia de una niña acá en Miami que toca el piano y nunca ha tenido lessons, clases de piano, y lo toca como si fuera Mozart, o sea, y te pones a pensar y dices, wow, y él está explicando de que eso es porque el espíritu de la persona es como que
Sí, ya tiene este conocimiento, ya está ahí, claro, su experiencia, ya es un músico.
Y le viene antes, o sea, antes de ser adolescente en realidad, ¿no?
Claro,
o sea,
porque lo que está pasando es que nosotros en nuestro cuerpo espiritual, nosotros tenemos también un cuerpo mental. Por ejemplo, los científicos dicen que las memorias, lo que pasa es que producido por nuestro cerebro físico, por las neuronas, pero no es así. No es así. Okay. Nuestro conocimiento, la fuente de nuestros pensamientos está en nuestro cuerpo espiritual y mental. Nosotros utilizamos el cerebro físico para manifestar nuestras ideas y pensamientos aquí en ese momento, porque por ejemplo fuera del cuerpo, y yo he tenido muchas de esta experiencia y también el libro habla mucho de eso, la persona que deja el cuerpo físico y se ve afuera del cuerpo físico, tiene ahí toda su capacidad cognitiva, toda su capacidad de pensar, de raciocinar, de memorizar, está fuera del cuerpo físico. Esta persona existe completamente con un cuerpo, con sus miembros, pies, manos, cabeza, nariz, todo, en un sistema energético distinto y separado del cuerpo físico. Entonces, lo que los niños, por ejemplo, pero el cuerpo físico, cuando encarnamos aquí, cuando entramos en el cuerpo físico, bloquea muchos de esta experiencia porque es un cuerpo nuevo. Es un aparatito pequeño que está empezando, ¿sí? Bien chiquitito.
Tenemos el chiquito.
Sí. Entonces no logramos traer todo conocimiento, manifestar, no traer, porque ya tenemos, manifestar con este aparatito limitado. Pero en ciertas ocasiones existe, sobre todo en este niño, que tiene un trabajo a hacer que es especial. Entonces eso en una edad chiquitica, entonces ellos tienen acceso a este conocimiento que ya es suyo de mucho tiempo.
Por eso es muy importante también para los padres, ¿no? Que sean, que los apoyen en vez de darles, aquí en Estados Unidos les dan muchas pastillas a los niños porque tienen ADD, por ejemplo, y en realidad no es eso, en realidad es que tienen esa mentalidad, esa conciencia que tú hablas y la quieren sacar y los padres lo que están haciendo es como retraerlos y no dejarlos avanzar.
Sí, es que esos son niños, por ejemplo, son espíritus que vienen con cosas que hacer y ya vienen con este conocimiento y muchos de ellos, es muy bonito eso. Cuando por ejemplo tiene problema incluso de autismo, cuando se logra por ejemplo hacer una hipnosis en uno de estos niños, por ejemplo, ellos muchas veces no quieren reencarnar, ellos no quieren o vinieron forzados a la reencarnación física, entonces como él no quieren, entonces a veces se cierra, y los que tienen la agitación, todos esos niños, por ejemplo, ellos quieren hacer muchas cosas. Es un espíritu que ya tiene muchas cosas que hacer, mucha energía, y tiene un cuerpo pequeño. Entonces, y tiene esta, ¿cómo se dice? Ansiedad por hacer todo, pero entonces ellos quieren hacer, pero tiene sus limitaciones de tiempo, de conocimiento.
¿Tú crees que los chicos que tienen autismo puede ser eso de que no querían venir? Hay casos que sí,
Hay casos que sí, que no querían venir, y hay casos que ellos, puede ser, tenemos un...
Entonces se puede tratar eso.
Claro,
O sea,
claro,
es
eso se
mental.
puede, eso se puede.
Espiritualmente se puede tratar.
Sí, claro, claro. Y sobre todo de una manera...
Quizás con hipnosis o algo, ¿no?
o con algún tipo
Regresión.
sí, de terapia.
Okay.
Pero una terapia, por ejemplo, un caso maravilloso de un chico.
Antes que me lo cuente, porque si no en inglés me voy a otro lado. So we're talking a little bit about, kids. He's saying that when we come to this world, usually there's kids that, your spirits, there's spirits that are very, very anxious to come back, and because they know they have a lot to do. But then there's other spirits that, and those are the kids that we see maybe, and parents say, oh, your kid has ADD, and they give them like the pills to like calm them down or make them go to sleep, like we were talking about yesterday in the other Jenny Live. And that's wrong, because you should really allow these kids to do what they want to do, no matter how much anxiety you see in them. It just means that to do a lot of things. And then, interesting enough, I've never heard of this, but I think it makes sense. People, kids that have autism, or different types of autism, he's saying that that they are spirits that did not want to come back to the physical world, so they kind of retract themselves, or like rebel out, I guess, in a way of saying, I don't want to go back, I don't want to go back. So when they come back, they don't have the capacity to do so much things, right?
Because before incarnating they had a thing that they didn't want to come. But we have other cases. For instance, this is beautiful. His name is Jacob Burnett, and he's 15 years old now, and he was working on his PhD in physics. And he loves light, and he was an autistic child, and you see his video. He's fascinating, and so he for like three years, for the first 3 years of his life, he was in that cocoon that many autistic children go into. But Jacob was amazing, because then when he became like more conscious that because he talks, he goes to university, and like I said, he teaches. When he was 9 or 10, he was teaching grown-ups physics.
So he got over it after a while.
Yeah, but the time that he was on his own, because that was beautiful, because his mother didn't take him to these places that did the regular boring treatment.
I feel like that retracts them even more, like right, they feel like there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, they'll impose something on them. It's not that. So when his mother noticed it, so she started to find out things that Jacob wanted. He liked lights, he liked colors and all that. So when they talked to Jacob, what did you do when you were in yourself? Jacob was creating. He was creating mathematics problems. He was solving problems. He had planets. He saw orbits of planets orbiting each other. He was trying to solve light problem or that. He was this was a scientist.
Wow.
A scientist, probably one of the good ones that we had before. That was trying, and light was his fascination, and so he was there. So his little brain, probably so busy with him doing all those things that he was doing with in another world, really. So he was in his own life, but what you heard him? No, he was solving problems. Look at kids, when
busier than we are.
He was, and his mom had a daycare in her garage. And then Jacob would stay there, and then there was like a lot of autistic children. They like small enclosed space. Okay. So Jacob had one, and so he'd go there and he kept looking at the children. And then his mom asked him, "What do you see the children?" He said, "I saw planets. The children, the children, they would spin around, and then there was another one. He was making like constellations."
I remember something, right?
Of course.
I don't know when he was out.
He was doing, because this is what happened in my view. He had all this thing that he came here to work to do, and this is physics. It's light. That's his life. That's what he came here to do. But he was too early. the brain was not developed well enough for him to put all that. So he was enclosed. But while, think it was, what is this poor kid doing? He was doing calculations that his professors, the PhD, were doing. It was incredible.
Wow. La historia de un niño en particular que tenía autismo, que hoy en día dice que está no solamente pues estudiando para graduarse, pero también enseñando a muchas personas más jóvenes, y que como todos los niños que tienen autismo se digamos, resguardan en un lugar muy pequeñito, pero dice de que la madre de él en particular, en diferencia a muchas otras madres, que lo que hacen es o darles pastillas o mandarlos a lugares donde en realidad mandan a las personas con problemas mentales, ¿no? Que yo no estoy de acuerdo con eso, ¿no? Por supuesto, pero aparentemente él está explicando de que este niño en realidad era más inteligente de la cuenta, por lo tanto cuando la madre, en vez de sacarle las cosas o alejarlo, no, hasta lo puso alrededor de niños normales y le empezó a preguntar a ver qué era lo que él quería hacer y qué era lo que veía. Dice que el niño empezó a ver y a explicar de que él veía constelaciones, veía planetas, estaba resolviendo problemas matemáticos que ni siquiera los profesores de la universidad podían resolver. Entonces él dice de que cuando pasa eso, en realidad lo que hay que hacer con niños autistas es como reforzarles lo que ellos desean hacer, porque tienen tanto para hacer, que dice de que el cerebro del físico, ¿no? Aquí del ser humano, no está desarrollado cuando nace para tanta información que ellos traen con ellos, ¿no?
Exactly.
Got it right?
See, you got it right. You got it right. You got
Now,
it right.
here's the my intrigueness. You believe in reincarnation, of course. So I have this idea where, and I don't know if you agree or not, that's why I'm asking you, but that sometimes people go through bad or good things in life because of past lives. So for example, if in this life there's a murderer that killed 20 people, then when they die and they come back, this is normally the person that would have a problematic person in their life or would have problems in their life. You know, when we see people being beaten or go through really traumatic, things where you say, oh my God, poor person. But then, I don't know, what do you think about that? Is that true, or?
Well, we are each one of us, we are in different stages of development.
Okay.
Consciousness. So, fortunately, today, despite everything the bad that we see here on Earth, there is more good than bad. So that means that there are more spirits, which is us, right? More spirits that are a little bit better developed than others, right? So you see these people doing good to society and doing good to their own lives. At the same time, you see terrorists. You see groups of people murdering whole villages in Africa, for instance. You see a lot of religious fundamentalists that do, with terrorist attacks, for instance. So these are spirits. They're in the same path that we are, in a growth, growing, trying to grow, trying to evolve. But they're in a stage of development that they have not mastered right and wrong, what you should do and you should not do. But they're evolving, they suffer just like anybody else, but they're not aware of that. So they're going to suffer because our consciousness is our worst enemy, right? So when we say that you die, you do bad things, you die and then you go to the next world, then you're going to be judged by God or by who? You're not. We're going to be judged by our own consciousness, and we are punished by the things that we do.
Right.
So that's because we have that, and the more developed we are conscientiously and spiritually, the more things that we do wrong punishes us.
Would we call that karma, or?
Karma, what they call karma is like a wheel, right? So now karma is something, energy that you have, like cause and effect.
Right.
So that could be good karma or bad karma.
Yeah.
Actually, I call it consequences, right? Consequences of what we do.
Yeah, I think that'll be a lot more simpler for people that,
Yeah. So, and people ask me, like, how do I know if I'm going to be happier in my next life? And it's
drink the venom and you'll find out.
that's very easy to answer.
Why?
How are you living your life now? Because we always reap the consequences of our actions, the way we think, the way we act. if it's positive or negative. If you're a person who hates most, right? If you're a person who is vengeful, if you want to harm someone, all that, and you can do all that, but the chances that you're going to be suffering a lot, physical diseases eventually, because our thoughts and emotions affect our human body, that's scientifically proved, then your health is going to be poor, and your consciousness, because then when you die, and I spoke with
I love this guy.
I spoke with a lot of dying people, right? One of them was my grandfather. You know, when they're 70, 80, and they're about to die, they look at you and they say, if I could have done everything different. You know, forgiveness, asking forgiveness. My grandpa was one of them. Perdóname por lo que yo hice. We're going to get to that point, but we don't want to do that anymore. So we want to do everything correctly. And we can
do it early, not when you're dying.
No, our forgiveness, our love, we need to do now, because we don't know what's going to happen. So we already know what's good and it's bad for us. So what we need to do is to act upon it. Like if you're suffering, I don't understand why I suffer so much. But we suffer so much because we caused a lot of hurt back then. Either in this life, that's you don't blame God. We don't blame God, and we don't blame the devil, because if we do, we say, oh, the devil did this to me. No, we did it. Now we're reaping what we did, the consequences.
So just so you know, this is the first time I've met him, and every when we've talked about this, you're saying exactly what I've always said. So it's great to have a professional actually, concur everything that we've always said, and it feels really good because, we do understand a lot about energy, but I always tell you guys, you can't take one opinion. You have to take many opinions and then see which one you feel more comfortable with, of course. Bueno, hablando un poquito, ¿no? del tema, yo le estaba preguntando a las personas que hoy en día, que hemos hablado mucho de esto en Jenny Live, pasan por alguna situación quizás trágica o alguna enfermedad o tienen alguna persona problemática en la vida de ellos, y uno dice, ay, pobre persona, ¿no? Entonces yo le preguntaba, ¿eso en realidad tú no crees que también puede ser por vidas pasadas para los que quieren creer en la reencarnación, ¿no? De las consecuencias que hayan hecho en otra vida? Por ejemplo, si tú matas a 20 personas en una vida, después mueres y vuelves a reencarnar, ¿no crees que te va a ir todo bonito en la próxima vida? O sea, probablemente vas a tener, como le explicaba, es una consecuencia, ¿no? De las energías que has creado, donde vas a tener muchos problemas físicos, enfermedades o problemas en general, ¿no? Así que yo le decía que interesante, pues, afirmar esto, ¿no? Que nosotros siempre hemos hablado y nada, me encanta, a mí me encanta hablar de estos temas, me fascinan los temas de las energías y creo de que sí, que cada vez la gente se está abriendo más ante esto. Bueno, volviendo al tema del Out of Body Experience, que de eso más que todo se trata tu libro, sé que también hay un riesgo en que algunas personas, hasta me han preguntado a mí, algunos miembros, y dicen, yo quiero intentarlo, ¿cómo lo hago? Y yo siempre les digo, nunca lo hagan solos. Si es la primera vez, siempre tienen que tener a alguien que los guíe, o como una regresión, por ejemplo, ¿no? Porque puede haber una desconexión del cuerpo y el espíritu y puede ser que te quedes afuera, ¿no? ¿Cuál sería tu opinión para las personas que dicen, yo quiero intentarlo y no entienden mucho?
Bueno, yo tengo en mi website, tiene mi otro librito.
Puedes dar tu website si quieres.
Yeah, admirserrano.com, admirserrano.com. And the booklet, the manual that I wrote is called Out and About, How to Have Conscious Out of Body Experience.
So you teach them?
Yeah, because
Él les enseña cómo hacerlo.
See, because this is not, we as a spirit, free spirit, in more ways than one. We don't like to just stay in a physical body, we leave it. So many of our dreams at night are experiences that we're having, like people say, you need to die, you're going to die, and you're going to the afterlife. We already experienced the afterlife. Yeah. Many of our dreams are visits to the place that we're going to go after we die. So we're very familiar with it.
And those are the kind of dreams that you say, it felt like I lived it, right?
Right, yeah. It's so real to be a dream. It was real because it wasn't a dream.
You taste it, you feel it, and you remember it as if you've done it already.
Exactly. So we do all that. So my booklet, my manual, what I teach, What I show is how to become conscious during a dream, how to know that you're dreaming, and from your dream, how to leave the physical body and experience life in that in the non-physical realm.
What would be the first step?
Well, the first step, there's like a series of steps. The first one is relaxation. That's the first one, because you need to relax. Like near-death experience is a forced out-of-body experience. The body suffers a trauma, be a cardiac arrest or an accident or whatever, and then all the organs then stop functioning for a time. So the spirit, which is the person, gets out, just like that, or is evicted.
I don't belong here.
Is evicted. Yeah, and it gets out. Okay. It then sees all that, but the person is going to come back. Why? Because the job is not done.
Don't take too long, though.
Yeah, we only leave. The only danger, no, it's not danger. The only time that we're going to leave the physical body and not return is when we finish our work here. And that it could be some people, some children die, or when they're 30, 40, 50, or 100. So when we finish our term, then we have the final out-of-body experience, the one with no return to that physical body, because we're going to have others when we reincarnate into another body. So there's no danger there, actually.
I feel like a lot of kids, when they die young, it's because probably they had to teach that family something, right? So it's like that was their goal.
That's one of the things, or like to complete or work or a cycle or a mission that they had for some reason, or join two people together, join a couple,
right? Yeah.
Or give a meaning to them, because it's amazing how we're smart, even when we're not in the physical body. We know
a lot of things that we just don't bother to think about,
That's right. Yeah. There's all like on the other side, and we're part of it. We did that before we came here. Right. We sit around and we see what we need to work, and we put places. You negotiate, like when even with your father, before they.
I heard about that.
Yeah, you said that. So you go
in that family.
Yeah, you go first, and then I'll go, and then when you ask a lot of kids who said, "Why did you choose your parents?" and who remember past lives, right? Because I know that they will be good to me.
Okay.
See, this is something that's very important, especially to parents. So children choose us as parents, like my daughters chose me and my ex-wife. So they chose us. Now I need to honor that very much. Why? Because they put all the trust in me. They're there, sitting there with this evolved spirits, and they say, I want Admir to be my father, because I know that he's going to be good to me. And I have two daughters. So they're the ones that do me like a, ¿cómo se dice? Un muñeco.
They do doll, like a rag doll.
Yeah. That's
do with you whatever you want.
Yeah. So I spoil them, bread. But I try to do a good education, and I love to do that. Why? Because I know that they chose me, so I must honor that.
Dice de que nosotros antes de venir a esta tierra también escogemos a la familia que queremos. Yo he escuchado de esto y es interesante, ¿no? Porque uno también, pues entendiendo más en el tema espiritual, cuando entiendes de que hay una vida más allá, pues te pones a pensar y dices, bueno, ¿qué no he aprendido en una vida pasada que tengo que aprender en esta vida que me puede enseñar este otro espíritu? Entonces parece de que antes de venir todos planean, no, bueno, primero vas tú, después vas tú, y tú ya escoges quién va a ser tu papá, quién va a ser tu mamá, por qué y qué es lo que tienes que aprender. Pero bueno, y luego también estaba contando de que en su página web pueden tener los datos para ustedes que me han preguntado, Jenny, ok, ¿cómo podemos intentar tener la experiencia fuera del cuerpo? que ni siquiera lo han intentado, ¿no? Pero hacer una regresión. Entonces yo siempre digo, bueno, no lo intenten hacer solos porque van a tener un problema y no es algo para jugar, ¿no? Tampoco. Pero él está diciendo de que los sueños, para muchos de ustedes que tienen sueños y dicen, ¿cómo podemos descifrar los sueños? Él lo acaba de corroborar. Los sueños que nosotros después nos despertamos y decimos, eso se sintió de verdad, eso realmente como que sentí el olor, el sabor, lo que tocaba y lo sentí como que era de verdad. Él dice que nosotros en realidad cuando dormimos, como nuestro espíritu es la esencia de todo y venimos de otras dimensiones, que es muy normal que nuestro espíritu no se quiera quedar aquí. Entonces cuando dormimos, como estamos en un plano más de descanso, tenemos experiencias fuera del cuerpo, en otras dimensiones, en otras vidas, digamos, energéticas, ¿no? Y en muchos de los sueños es como una vida paralela, lo que le podríamos llamar, ¿no? Como...
Es nosotros viviendo temporalmente en the afterlife.
Yeah.
Después, nosotros estamos acostumbrados, nosotros somos veteranos. We're old time. We are old timers in this dying business, because first we've died many times, and second our own dreams, you know. And then you die, and then we see. I had experience, out of body experience, that I was watching. I was trying to help, like this young kid who had died, in like the night before. Mm. And my job, and he was in this place. It was like a town, like a replica of the. And he was looking for. It was like dawn, and I saw that he was very bewildered looking at that place. And I said, "What you looking for?" He said, "The building there, where my company is." And so he said, I think it was in that corner, and I see that building, but I don't see it. And he wanted to go to work. And I asked him, what do you do? He said, I work in the finance department of this company. And I said, where are you from? And then I'm out of the body, in the spirit body. And he said, I'm from Uberlândia. It was a city in Minas Gerais in Brazil. And then I knew it, because they had told me, like the people who are working on it, they told me, go, this guy just, and he even had the bandage. He had a brain surgery, and he died during the procedure, and he even had the bandage around his head.
So in that case, what we would call that pretty much is people that die all of a sudden, and they don't really realize that they're dead. You know, they want to continue to live in here.
They don't know, because they're like, they think they're dreaming. So my job, I was out of my body, and that's one of the work that I do in the spirit world. Then
That's very nice.
Yeah. Then I told them, well, don't worry about that anymore.
You don't have to work anymore.
And I said, don't worry about that anymore. No, come with us. I'm gonna show you something. Yeah. And then these guys came, and they told them. But then my job started. Right. It stopped. So because when we are out of the body, we have like a higher energy that the newly deceased can see us better than the other ones who were already there. So my job was just to tell them that things had changed a little bit. It was not too different. Yeah, it was not too.
You don't have a body anymore.
Don't worry about that. I had one experience. This was more beautiful.
Una de las experiencias que él dice, una de las cosas hace cuando uno tiene una experiencia fuera del cuerpo es ayudar a las personas que recién fallecen, que por ahí no se dan cuenta. Entonces por ahí tienes una persona que acaba de salir de un hospital porque tenía cirugía en el cerebro y fallece. Entonces cuando tú te sales del cuerpo, en realidad pues tu espíritu viaja, y muchas personas tienen dones o tienen ese trabajo de ayudar a esos espíritus. Entonces nos contaba una historia en particular de un muchacho en Brasil que estaba hasta con la no la soga, sería con, how do you say bandages, con las curitas, no sé, las curitas de después de la cirugía, y que él le tuvo que contar de que no se preocupe, de que él ya no tenía que trabajar, porque no entendía. Él dice, estoy buscando mi edificio para ir a trabajar. Pero bueno, se nos acabó el tiempo por hoy. Vamos a tener otro programa, porque mira que hemos hablado de las cosas muy rápidamente para que vean, pero creo de que da muchísimo más para hablar. Creo que especialmente para Miami TV Live mucha gente se va a sentir más confortada en estos temas, ¿no? Hoy en día tocamos un poquito de cada cosa. Quizás en otros programas podremos enfocarnos en un tema, extenderlo más y así sucesivamente. De todos modos, quiero que le digas a las personas tu website, y si quieren tener charlas, por supuesto, aquí en Miami, adelante.
Sí, my website is admirserrano.com. It's my name and last name, first name and last name, ADMIRSERRANO.com. Okay. And so you can contact me. And the final message is for everybody who lost a loved one or may be suffering because, you know, someone departed. The only thing that happened was that they are out of sight, but not out of their lives. They continue living as every one of us will continue living when we finish this work here, which is beautiful, and we need to be very happy with who we are. We value ourselves because we are majestic beings, and we can do a lot of good things here, and that's what we should aim, doing good things.
There you go. And of course, remember, consequences, so make sure you live a positive life. That's all I gotta say. All right, guys, we're wrapping it up. Don't forget, we'll be with you. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
We'll be with you again at 5 with another special guest, so don't forget, stay tuned here in Miami TV. And it was a great show. You know, I gotta say that we did good with the English and Spanish, but we're definitely gonna have him back because a lot of you guys always have questions about this. And I think it pretty much also answered a lot of questions that you guys always have that I've answered. And and he pretty much put the final touch to it, because it's great to hear from a professional, and it's great to hear from a professional that also has the same idea that we've been giving you the whole time. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good day or night wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you later. Big kiss. Chao, chao. Nos vemos en la próxima. Adiós.